Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal with a new podcast. We are on the 99th edition of the Mr. Informal podcast. I can't believe one more podcast will equal to 100. So, I hope you are doing well today. As you know, everyone in the great US of A is basically on lockdown or unlimited travel, even domestically, even locally. I mean, you can't really go anywhere, I guess. Can't go to the bars, can't go to restaurants, and these days. But here I am, still giving you the podcast. Well, I am doing it at home, so I guess it's really not much change. But these are the 4 topics for the Mr. Formal podcast. So number 1, retailers, and basically everybody, whether it be fashion, marketing, business, whatever, they all have inventory problems. Number 2, deliveries in high demand, very high demand. Number 3, since you are just staying at home, same here, we're all doing video calls, and video calls are in high trend right now. And then number 4, last but not least, is research funds. Basically, a lot of companies are funding a lot of research regarding diseases, also a lot of donations, and also trying to find a preventive ways and cures and all that stuff. So those are the 4 topics for the Mr. Informal podcast. Let's go ahead and start the podcast right now. From the article retaildive.com, the apparel industry had an inventory problem before coronavirus. What now? Universal recommendations are hard to come by for non-essential retailers and wholesalers, but some trends are starting to surface. So, when Moody's releases global coronavirus heat map, apparel was red hot. The apparel industry, according to ratings agency, is highly exposed to business shocks from the global coronavirus response, along with the automotive industry, travel, passenger airlines, hotels and restaurants, and among others. What started as a supply shock is now obviously a demand shock. Torbeck, chairman of Change Capital and former GE general manager of Nike, told Retail Dive's sister publication Supply Chain Drive. So it's pretty obvious that the apparel industry have inventory problems. It's probably the same as the electronic retailers such as Best Buy, Office Depot, Staples, and so on. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. It comes down to multiple aspects and factors, whether it be design, the value, demand, practicality, and marketing. You know, if there's high demand, you'll have low inventory, but if there's no demand, you have high inventory. And not only that, depending on your product, if it's good, then yeah, people will buy it. If it's not, then you're not gonna have low demand. But the apparel industry is certainly a big issue because they basically buy a lot of quantity in thousands, even 10,000s, and so on. And since a lot of retailers are closed, especially in the clothing, the mall, basically, a lot of people are not buying. Even if you add up the online retailers, e-commerce, people are still not buying because the difference is apparel, you have to wear it. You have to try it on if it fits you. Same with shoes. Shoes are also having inventory problems. You can't say that, oh, I know my size. No, it's different. Every brand will always have different sizes. Such as in sneaker wear, I wear this, and then when I go buy from a dress shoes, I'm different. So it really depends. And it's quite interesting that apparel brands are now in shock that, oh my gosh, we have inventory problems. A lot of these brands are not managed well. Of course, you always have inventory problems if it's not selling, if the design sucks, if it's fit wrong. But the fact is you always gotta manage, whether it be you discount it and you sell it to me all price retailers such as Marshalls, TJ Maxx. If you don't know, you can even sell it to you can put it on sale, discount it. You can do all of that just to have low inventory. Certainly, if you have a low inventory company, the better you are, because now you're not wasting money on keeping your inventory, storing your inventory. Storing your inventory is not cheap, people. It's really not. I'm not going to tell you how much, but the more that code sits there, the more price that's going to go down. Because if you can't sell it at a discounted price, now you're going to take a loss. You basically lose money by keeping it in there. And so hopefully you learn something that way. But I'm not surprised that the apparel industry is having inventory problems. And same thing with electronics. Same thing with a lot of retails. Even you can even say smartphones. Smartphones are gonna have a huge inventory. Huge inventory. On to the second topic, deliveries. I'm talking about Uber Eats, Instacart. I mean, Grubhub, Postmates, all kinds. So it's not just food, okay? It's also grocery deliveries. Safeway, Ralph's, Whole Foods. I mean, everybody. But it's in high demand to the fact that we have low amount of workers while there is higher demand. And a lot of these brands are hiring, but very slowly, because you can't, everyone wants to stay home. Nobody wants to go out. Even if you do these kinds of deliveries, everybody wants to have less contact with people, with humans. Nobody wants it. And check this out. Instacart plans to hire 300,000 additional shoppers. 300,000. That could probably be nationwide. That could be whatever. But look, it's not just them anymore. It's also a lot of brands. That's why a lot of these restaurants are doing to-go type orders, which is good. That's always a great option. But here's the thing. When you have a higher demand, suddenly all your deliveries are gonna be late. They're not gonna be on time anymore. So that's gonna be a big issue. And if you check out Amazon Prime, it's not 2 days anymore. If I order now, it's gonna take Thursday. Like, what? What happened to the 2-day shipping here? So apparently the 2-day shipping is not an option as of late. So they're moving things back. Now that could be a surge of obviously higher demand online, but wait a minute. Don't we usually have this on Black Friday? Don't we usually have this on around Christmas, even New Year's? Basically November and December. So I just want to make sure why. I just don't understand why the deliveries are suddenly becoming delayed. Now, like I said, with Amazon, a lot of these brands, they're cutting off 2 days because of high demand. But look, we've had this before, such as Black Friday, and we've had this before even around Christmas. And look, if it's food, look, I understand. If it's groceries, I understand. That I can understand the delay. That I get. But when it comes to the items that we want, that we don't even need, why is there such delay? You get what I mean? So many delivery delays happening as of late. And maybe it's just the region. Me, I live in a big metropolitan city, and I'm getting a lot of things really late. If I order something on Amazon, like I said, if I order today, I'm getting in Thursday, sometimes Friday, which doesn't make sense. Which I'm asking myself, why am I paying for Amazon Prime if I'm getting later delivery dates? And if you haven't noticed, you should check. Maybe it's just my region. Maybe if you're still getting 2 days, then hey, that's good. Video calls, whether it be through webcam, through FaceTime, through Google Video, S Video, whatever you want to call it, it's in high use. Well, look, when you make a phone call, it's all voice, but there's nothing like seeing the person from the other line. So there's been rise of video calls because we're all staying at home. And look, I don't have the numbers, but it's pretty obvious. I've seen it from the news. I mean, you've seen it from your friends, parents, relatives, whoever. And we all want to see, what about birthdays that we missed, right? Video call. What about newborns? What about certain type of celebrations? Would it be an anniversary, or you know what, calling somebody from overseas? Again, it's in higher demand now because we don't get to see those people in person anymore. Now we call them or video call them, FaceTime them, whatever you want to call it. And I've always loved that feature. I think this is one of the greatest invention. Me back then, when I was growing up, it was all about writing letters. You gotta send through that letter. Sometimes it takes you a week, 2 weeks, or even a month or longer, whatever. And look, I find that romantic. You actually use your handwriting. You write them a letter, see how they are. It doesn't have to be a person you love. It could be a family, it could be a friend, whatever. And then we went to telephones. Calling overseas was expensive. Are you serious? And even was domestic, especially if it's a different state, that was expensive. And then things finally got cheaper, and then it doesn't even matter anymore. And then when video came by, it was amazing to me because you can actually see the other person live on the other side, and that to me was just absolutely amazing. And we all wish that we could have that feature when I was young, well, especially when I was young, but back then it was hard. But I think we're taking things for granted now that we actually see the usefulness of it. We actually understand how much it means to us. Not only that, it also let us know that how much we miss the person, being with that person or seeing that person in person. Because again, it's different when you're beside them, in front of them, or talking in front of them. So it's quite different nowadays. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it from different types of shows where they're doing shows at home, broadcasting at home, self-quarantine, all obviously. I mean, that's the only way we get to see them. We don't get to see them in public anymore, or not now, because they can't go out because of either the self-quarantine them, or they're trying to take preventive measures, or follow the rules and follow the guidance of our president. And so it's quite interesting that and here's the thing, since we're making a lot of video calls, also our data is going high. The use of our data is getting higher since we're just staying at home, being on the phone, or so and so, whatever you want to call it, whether it be shopping, video calls, or just playing games. So our data is rising instead of us doing something else in the outdoors, not caring for our cell phones or using our data much. So it is quite interesting to me that there is a rise in video calls, and I think that people realize that how much usefulness it is, and I think we're using it more now that we're just staying home and we don't get to see that person, or we don't get to see the people that we normally see when we go out. And so for the last topic for today, well, I was just looking around blogs. I'm seeing Burberry funds vaccine research for repurpose its factory for gowns and masks. Other people, Nike is getting in it too. I mean, all kinds of companies doing research funds, so and so. Look, this is nothing new. I mean, we've all funded research for cancer, for all kinds of diseases, whether it be this virus. This is nothing new, and I mean, this is just all marketing to me. Like, do these companies really wanna find cures here? I mean, do we? I'm trying to understand here. Because if these companies really do care, they would do more than just fund. They would do more just do monetary. Get what I mean? How about actually just producing the mask? You had the factory to do it. Just make them and then donate them. Actually have a logistic team here. This is what I want you to do. Ship it by air, and then we're gonna deliver to these places, and then boom, that's it. Come on, especially in the apparel business. I know a factory. We all know factories. Just last week, I had factories send me like 5 boxes of masks. Just like 50 pieces in each box. I mean, I split them with my coworkers, obviously, but they gave it to us for free. I'm just saying. I mean, do we really need this? I mean, from face value, you can say, oh man, this is great and so. But look, this is nothing new. Again, we're doing cancer research here. Multiple sclerosis. I mean, who are we kidding here? I mean, is it gonna take another pandemic for these companies to say, oh, we funded research, oh, so and so? It just is not, there's nothing really doing much. I would like to see these companies actually get down physically and do something about it, especially in the apparel and electronic business. And Facebook, have I heard Facebook doing something here? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they funded something, but have they physically done something here? Have they helped the hospitals? I haven't. They haven't. Has Google helped them? They haven't. I mean, has Nike even made masks? I would think Nike, of all the companies, hey, factory, make masks, boom, ship them to hospital, we're done. I mean, Nike would be the best example of a company who can produce these in a matter of like in couple days, and they can ship it by air, and then they could help. Nike has factories in Vietnam, China, Taiwan, even in the Middle East, India, Pakistan. I mean, I must be going crazy here. Maybe I am crazy. But all I'm saying is that these companies who are funding research for preventive measures for diseases, whatever, especially at this time, is just driving me crazy of the fact that they could do something much better, or they could do more, and yet they don't want to. And so that basically concludes this Mr. Informal 99 edition podcast. Don't forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and then my website, mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. Hope you learned something today, and I hope you be safe. Definitely safe. And then again, if you are practicing being at home, call the people, check up on them, see how they are, friends, relatives, loved ones, whoever. Make sure they're okay. And then if you're gonna go out, at least wear a mask, wear gloves, whatever, and make sure you limit your time. And so I will see you in the next podcast. Bye bye.